Hey, what's up, you guys? Bloody Jacob here to bring you my review of Justified Season 3. I should have done this one a while ago, but, other things had come up. But at this point, I really, you have to trust me here, because I am very much eager to talk about Justified, because no show since Banshee has really had my attention the same way this one does, and I really liked the first couple seasons of the show. I thought they were all, pretty enjoyable enough, and Timothy Oliphant's, just a way of playing Raylan is just, pretty magnetic, I think. He definitely feels like one of the most unique or memorable leads in a show I've seen, even at this point now, 3 seasons in. I will be starting Season 4 soon. I just have to save up for some stuff this month, and unless we'll probably be ordering that season at some point soon. Season 3 of Justified here. I think it was the best season so far. I just found it to be the most engaging in terms of its main plot, its antagonists, and just the way they tie that in with Raylan's personal stuff that he had going, and I thought it was at its best thus far in the show anyway. I'll show the back of it here. But yeah, of course, it takes place pretty soon after, within the aftermath of Mags Bennett's death. So there's kind of this hole, this void of criminal activity, and there's quite a few characters looking to sort of reap what she left behind. Meanwhile, you also have Dickie, who's been taken in, who's looking to try and get back into the fray as well. But you have another character, a major crime boss popping up called Limehouse. He's pretty memorable as a villain. You also have the actor who played Emmett on Banshee as one of his right-hand men, go figure, so that was pretty cool. But I gotta say, my favorite sort of throughout the season was Quarles, Robert Quarles, played by Neil McDonough. That guy's been in a lot of shows. He's been in tons of movies. He was even Dum Dum Dugan in Captain America. He's Damien Dark in the Arrowverse on the CW. He was in Walking Tall with the Rock, and he's done tons of other stuff. Honestly, I think Robert Quarles might be my favorite villain on the show so far, at least excluding your usuals as Boyd and everything. But in terms of new villains are introduced, I think Quarles is probably my favorite. He just has a lot of charisma to him as an actor as well, and at first he kind of comes off just like this crime boss from Detroit, but there's a lot more going on to him than that, both good, bad, and awkward. Because he has this weird sort of interest in tying up men in the bathroom and having his fun that way. But he's also very lethal. He's very skilled with a gun. He has this thing he can slip out of his sleeve, so that's pretty cool, unless it jams, of course. But there's a scene where Neil McDonough really gets to show his acting chops, where he talks about his first kill basically ended up being his father and everything, how he was brought up, by his boss in Detroit and everything, his jealousy towards his son, and everything like that. We even find out that Robert Quarles is his family himself. I almost wish they would have delved more into that. But nonetheless, I thought he was a pretty engaging villain. We'll talk more about how that ended up in the finale in a few minutes here. But, of course, with Boyd this season as well, he's starting to gain more control than ever as well, working alongside Arlo, along with us, still Johnny, Devil, stuff like that. He's trying to push to, gain more control to be able to pull certain strings within, Harlan County and everything. Jim Beaver guest stars again this season. And I really enjoyed that. Of course, Jim Beaver, a lot of you know him as playing, Bobby Singer on, Supernatural over there. So, it's just a lot of fun to see more of him on this, and Boyd puts him in a position to take over as sheriff, so he can kind of have that in his pocket. And Jim Beaver's character, still feels like he owes Boyd a lot, which in a way he does, for how he played out that whole mind thing in season 2. So I like seeing more of him. And Winona, I was glad her and Raylan were, more at an understanding of the season, I guess. We find out that she is pregnant. So I'm kind of eager to see how that's going to play out. I'm still waiting for either Ava or Winona to be killed off. I do like Winona more than Ava, but I have a bad feeling about who it might be eventually. We'll have to see about that. Ava, I did enjoy a little bit more of the season, though, than I did previously, because she gets to work a little more directly with Boyd and the rest of them, and it makes her feel like more of an asset in that group, instead of just sort of the girl manipulated by him. And I get that she might legitimately care about him when Boyd's not all bad, he's not just a straight up, villain or a criminal. But I still think she's kind of stupid for going along with him like this. It's inevitably going to lead to some terrible shit going down. But if it's worth it to her, it's worth it to her, I guess, right? Wynn Duffy this season, I gotta talk about him. Possibly the funniest scene on the whole show is where, Raylan threatens him and he... something else. Excuse me. I'm sorry that I keep going back and forth and talking about random things in a random order, but the actor who played Otis on season 2 of The Walking Dead is in this as well, and he had this trick with a gun that he would use on his men, where he would just fire blanks, and they would always have to wonder where or if the bullet was gonna go off at some point, just kill him, and he would decide it like that, almost like Two-Face, except without like flipping the coin. So Raylan, he sort of ends up using that trick later with Wynn Duffy. And just the guy playing Wynn Duffy, he's been in a lot of shows as well. He was therapist, psychiatrist kind of guy in Breaking Bad. He was pretty prominent villain on a show called Burn Notice. He's done a lot of stuff. I think he was even on Bates Motel, from what my brother tells me. But yeah. Just his reaction, the way he sells like his fear, he's like, okay, Raylan, I know you're not really gonna shoot me. Then Raylan, makes him think he fires on him. He's like, Jesus! I don't know, it's hilarious. I can't do that justice, but that just had me cracking up. That and again, just the way Boyd and Raylan sort of communicate with each other. It forms like a bond or sort of like a relationship that any show needs like this. Just like sort of their sarcastic way or like joy they try to show when they see each other. It's funny. It was like that in season 1 too, but Boyd's sitting in the bar, then he'll hear Raylan pulling up or something, or know that he's coming in. He'll be like, I sense a disturbance in the force. Hello, Raylan. It's just that kind of thing that really works. Both Walton Goggins and Timothy Olyphant, again, just do a good job with that. And back to sort of the, criminals trying to grasp at the hole that Meg sort of left behind, and sort of gain more control. She also left a stash of money, which Dickie was trying to get a hold of as well, Limehouse and everyone. But it turns out the money was actually kept with Loretta. I was really glad to see Loretta come up again this season. I just sort of like her and Raylan's dynamic. It's almost like a father and daughter type of thing, possibly, which might make sense if Winona is ever killed off, which again I don't want her to be. If they don't end up having the baby, I'm not sure. I do like Winona, but sometimes it's irritating when it seems like she's accepting Raylan's care for his job and everything, and then Raylan eventually just wants to take a lower risk job for her, but then she sort of backs out again. It's confusing. But back to Loretta though, I like that money was kept with her. It does sort of again show that in some way Mags probably did care for Loretta, despite some like twisted other elements with it, I guess. So I like seeing more of that, just again how fast Raylan is to go and protect her, and you see what's going on with her. I really like that a lot. And also the death of Gary this season at the hands of Quarles, along with Wynn Duffy's assistance. Justified. Gary was an idiot, in both in terms of his relationships and just the way he would handle all his stupid activities with people like that. It was going to get him killed at some point. Raylan wasn't surprised, but Winona, of course, is still kind of hurt by it and still sort of really mixed, because she did still care for him in a certain way. But he's left dead at the front of their house, which I didn't really have an issue with. Again, that was going to come at some point. Now, in terms of how it played out with Quarles and everything, it was pretty engaging when there's that whole manhunt out for him. he ends up getting his arm chopped off by Limehouse when he tries to fight both him and Raylan. He shoots Emmett from Banshee and stuff like that. He ends up getting his arm chopped off, and it's kind of weirdly funny when Raylan has his arm and you see Quarles trying to reach for it and Raylan's just kind of slowly pulling it away from him. In ways I almost wish Quarles would have went into season 4 as a villain for longer than a season, but at the same time I guess his time had to run out a little bit sooner than that. He was just a favorite villain of mine so far, but I still like seeing him, and that whole exchange was intense enough, I guess. Although I kind of wish he had a bigger ending or something like that. I don't know, but so I did really like Justified season 3. There's a lot more about the season I could talk about, but I don't want to make this video go on for too long. I've been trying to keep some of my videos shorter lately, but I'm glad I made this one longer than my season 2 review, which is only like 4 or 5 minutes. I need to make them longer than that. But yeah, I rated the first 2 Justified seasons about a B+, and I've been saying it was better than both of those, so I'm at least going to give this one an A-. But yeah, really liked it. The character dynamics are still working more than ever. The villains are more engaging than ever. I'm still waiting for like more of an emotional hook, but I feel like that's gonna come when whatever happens with Winona happens, because I do like her and Raylan's more happier moments together, more happier. If that even makes sense. So I feel like there's something they're going to tap into within these last 3 seasons, that I'm waiting for. I feel like it's going to come. But yeah, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.